Exactly what will next year's iPhones look like? A recent report about the design of the iPhone 17 series suggested that the cameras would be visible in an all-new layout. This was a surprising development, but was taken seriously as it came from a leaker with a decent track record. However, it's now been openly disproved. Since the discrepancy also comes from a recognized source, it may have left you wondering what's truly what, and additional perspectives are being stated, which add further uncertainty. For instance, one story states this: "We're still getting a regular iPhone 17, but there won't be an iPhone 17 Plus this year." Apple apparently wants to sell the iPhone 17 Air alongside iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max variants, and speculation suggests there are some design tweaks coming to those models too. So far, it sounds like we're going to get a half aluminum, half glass design for the back panel that might boost durability, plus the camera system could get a redesign, according to Mac Rumors, in a post which shows an image of the aluminum or glass hybrid. It has the cameras in yet another arrangement, with a vertical series of camera on the edge. The render it shows screams, "Apple would never do this to me." While a variety of materials on the rear is entirely viable, the effect is not very convincing. It looks fascinating, but utterly without the wow effect that Apple's industrial design instantly conjures. It also looks almost like its major rival's flagship, that is, the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. Frankly, Apple would no more desire that than the risk of appearing like the Google Pixel series. The original claim from Weibo user Digital Chat Station included a render of an iPhone with a single row of cameras along the top edge of the phone. The render looked plausible and didn't pretend to be the genuine thing, but it wasn't based on any leaked pictures or images. 3 cameras in a row could appear good, but there are knock-on implications from them. The triangle of lenses on the rear of the iPhone 15 Pro, for instance, have the virtue of being equidistant, which improves the seamlessness of switching from one lens to another. Also, as Ben Lovejoy at 9to5Mac points out, if a move to a straight line of lenses was planned, a vertical line makes more sense than horizontal because most photos and video are shot in landscape mode. And as detailed below, vertical lenses, as on the iPhone 16 and 16 Pro, enable the iPhones to shoot spatial video that can be played back on the Vision Pro. As indicated, the earlier suggestion was for an iPhone with a horizontal row of cameras instead of, for instance, the triangular placing on the iPhone 16 Pro. It meant an iPhone that looks surprisingly similar to the Google Pixel 9 Pro. Some were suspicious that this might be correct, but additional reports were needed to be sure. Now, there's a fresh post on Weibo from regular leaker Instant Digital, who has had a strong but not faultless track record. It was observed by Mac Rumors, and it offers a different opinion, saying in machine translation, "My source told me that the appearance of the back has indeed changed, but the layout of the 3 cameras is still triangular, not the horizontal bar spread on the internet now." This makes a lot more sense to me, but let's dissect it a little. The triangular positioning appears likely not just because it's familiar, but because it means that the present capacity for shooting spatial video with the iPhone held in landscape orientation continues. I would be amazed if Apple didn't maintain this feature intact for the next many generations at least. Where the claim is less clear is exactly what's meant by the appearance of the back being changed this year. Given the increased screen size of the current Pro models compared to 2023, I believe the display will remain the same in 2025, hence the changes will rest elsewhere. One report includes a camera section encased in aluminum rather than glass, while it's claimed that the rest of the iPhone's rear will still be comprised of glass. Without that, wireless charging would be gone, and that's another crucial feature that is unlikely to leave. Since the launching of the iPhone 14 Pro, Apple has started integrating 48-megapixel sensors in the main camera. Last year, the iPhone 16 Pro also received an improved ultra-wide-angle sensor with the same resolution. According to an expert at Digital Chat Station, this year's iPhone 17 Pro will also boost the resolution of the telephoto. As a reminder, the current iPhone 16 Pro series features 3 cameras in the back, 48 megapixels for the primary and ultra-wide-angle sensors, and 12 megapixels for the telephoto. If the information about the next model is confirmed, then all the sensors of the iPhone 17 Pro will be identical in terms of resolution. Moreover, as previously stated, this strategy would be applied solely to the largest iPhone 17 Pro Max model. But recent research indicates that the smaller version of the iPhone 17 Pro will have similar cameras. The front cameras will quadruple their resolution, up to 24 megapixels, and use 6-element lenses instead of the present 5-element ones. This should increase visual clarity by decreasing possible image distortion. I do think Apple has perhaps wasted an opportunity with its photographic styles, though, in that you can utilize them only when taking photographs in HEIF, meaning high-efficiency image format. Unfortunately, you can't use them when shooting in ProRAW. I enjoy Apple's usage of ProRAW on earlier iPhones, as it takes advantage of all of the iPhone's computational photography, including things like HDR image mixing, but still outputs a DNG RAW file for simpler editing. The DNG file often also allows more latitude to brighten dark areas or tone down highlights in an image, making it incredibly adaptable. Previously, Apple's color presets could be utilized when shooting in ProRAW, and I loved it. I routinely captured street-style images using the high-contrast black and white mode and then modified the RAW file further. Now adopting the same black and white style involves just capturing photographs in HEIF format, losing the benefits of using Apple's ProRAW. Oddly, while the older style filters are no longer available in the camera app, when taking a RAW image, you can still apply same filters to RAW photos in the iPhone's Gallery app through the editing menu. And while we're on the issue of color presets and filters, Apple ought to bring those to video too. On the iPhone 15 Pro, Apple introduced the ability to record video in Prores, which results in very low contrast, almost gray-looking footage. The idea is that video editors will take this raw footage and then apply their edits on top, typically applying contrast and color presets known as LUTs, meaning lookup tables, that gives footage a particular style. Imagine dark and blue for horror films or warm and bright tones for a romantic drama vibe. But Apple doesn't offer any kind of LUT for editing ProRes video on the iPhone, beyond simply ramping up the contrast, which doesn't really do the job effectively. Sure, the point of ProRes is that you would take the footage off the iPhone, put it into software like DaVinci Resolve, and then properly color grade the movie so it appears sleek and professional. But it still leaves the files on your phone, and I'd love to be able to do more with them. My collection is packed with ungraded video files that I'll do very little with because they need color grading externally. I'd love to post them on Instagram or with my family over WhatsApp after altering those files from drab and gray to beautifully bright. With the iPhone 17, or even with the iPhone 16 as a software update, I want to see Apple producing a range of its own LUTs that can be immediately applied to ProRes video files on the iPhone. Finally, the iPhone 17 Pro's big sibling, the iPhone 17 Pro Max, is reported to sport a thinner dynamic island or the shape-shifting display oval enclosing the iPhone's true depth front camera. Supply chain analyst Jeff Pu claims Apple is opting with a smaller metal lens for the Face ID system. Pu said in November that Apple would include its next-generation A19 chip in the iPhone 17 and the A19 Pro chip in the iPhone 17 Pro. Both chips are believed to be fabricated using TSMC 3rd Generation 3 nanometer technology, or N3P. Pu expects them to bring minor performance and power efficiency gains over the current A18 and A18 Pro CPUs. The iPhone 17 Pro and iPhone 17 Pro Max could possibly get a RAM bump. While every phone from the iPhone 16 range has 8 gigs of RAM, Apple's next higher-end handsets are reported to contain 12 gigs of RAM. As again, the following amounts to tech gossip, and there's no guarantee that any of it will emerge in Apple's finished product. Still, rumors like this offer a peek at what analysts and other insiders might come across leading up to a product release. If Apple were able to implement all these enhancements, excluding perhaps the full-frame sensor, which even I can acknowledge is a touch ambitious, it would have an absolute beast of a camera on its hands. When many reports from leakers with high reputations collide, it might be misleading. But while there are still a lot of concerns to be answered, the idea of a pixel-like camera design seems to have retreated. So, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more tech news. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.